Okay, gonna try this out today. Um, I have the internet on still, hoping that that's not going to affect this video. Um, I hope it's not, and I hope I don't have to redo it. Um, I have been very much urged in my spirit over the last couple weeks, especially, to really pound home a lot of this stuff that I have been writing about. I really don't know any other way to kind of get it out to those that want to possibly hear things that have been shown. I do try to speak to people in person when I do see them. I don't uh, leave very often. I'm very much at home on my homestead, and there are some people that I do try to speak to in regards to this, and I will continue to. Um, this kind of understanding that has been really shown to me over the last little while here is literally life changing. This is the kind of stuff that I understand now why they want to kill this, why they want to destroy this, and why air from the beginning has always wanted to destroy this. God is truth, and God is love, and love is truth, and truth is love. Truth and love is the same thing, and air and truth are opposite of one another. Air is in control of this place now, and has continued to try to destroy truth. Christ, or wisdom, is truth. Jesus, the man that came in the flesh, he had the Christ dwelling in him at full capacity. The Christ has been since the foundation of the world. That has been with God from the beginning, which is the one mind, one spirit, truth, wisdom. And you look back through the beginning of time from what we understand or what we're allowed to see, you will always see that truth has always tried to be extinguished. It's always been tried to be destroyed. They rewrite their own history to eliminate any sort of truth. A lot of my new, I guess, words or new understandings that I have been given to people via this computer and in person are hard to understand. I get that because we are so carnal. We are absolutely incredibly carnal. Obviously, from the beginning of us being sold, our actual body being completely wretched and completely soaked and indwelled and invested and infested, both invested and infested with sin. Um, the carnal mind is at enmity towards God. Um, the whole Christ understanding of the New Testament has really opened up all things in regards to new understandings for me. I can honestly say at this point in time in my walk, I see it. I truly understand how he healed. I truly understand how he cast out unclean spirits. I can see that now for the first time without looking at it as some type of a miracle that we have been conditioned to believe through Disneyland. Christ is truth. That's what he is. He's the way, he's the truth, and he's the life. And when you walk in truth and you cast out all error, and I mean fully, you will start to begin to do the works of our master. And I'm not sitting here saying that I'm doing anything, as I am continuing to do as my teacher has told me, and continuing to cast down my own error that I possibly still have, and any other fear that I possibly have, so that I may make this so-called Bible come to life. We are doing all things in vain when we say we believe and have faith, but yet we cannot do the works of our master. You look at anything in any trade or any business or anything, if you're not doing the works of the boss, you're no longer working there. So I want you to understand that. We all have the love, those that have been tuning in to me over the last little while. I know that you have the same love. I understand that. It's just that we have been lost. And the more you cast out the world within your own personal life, the more you will grow closer to the truth. The more you walk away from friends and family that are carnal, the closer you'll get to those that are truly your brothers and sisters. We are so lazy and fat in our understandings and in our ways that we don't truly take his words for the truth. We say, I know, but it's my parents. I know, but it's my friends. I know, it's just a little bit here, a little bit there. When Jesus said to the puffed up Pharisee there, or Sadducee, or scribe, or whoever he was, when they came to finally, essentially tempt him at the last about the inscription on the coin, he really basically told them that he had nothing to do with this world, and he was not physical, and he was not matter, and he didn't care about anything that was in this entire existence. He only cared about the minds and the spirits of man that were wanting to be repentative and turn to the one mind and have the recovery from the beginning. That is what he came to do. That's what the Christ came to do in the flesh. Everything else is physical matter and physical life, which means nothing. Everything is dying, okay? I've been doing some posts lately in regards to the understanding of meta, okay? Metaphysics, okay? Meta is all to deal with the mind, okay? And it's essentially Christ was doing mind healing, because mind is spirit, and when it's connected and joined to the one spirit, you are healthy and you have life eternal in bliss and in heaven, not a locality, but in a place where oneness and peace and joy and all the fruits of the spirit are completely and utterly part of your entire existence. I've been asking questions a lot on there, and I need you to understand. I need you to really, those that are literally trying to truly seek this stuff out, you have to ask yourself, physical matter means nothing. What's dwelling within inside your own mind, or inside your own head, or inside this sin-drenched body, is life. It's spirit. Okay? We have to understand that we have been completely and utterly destroyed by the world. We have been completely conditioned to physically just be physical. We have been completely brainwashed and manipulated our entire life to be in fear. And this video today is about fear. And if you are going to truly get my message today, and if you're really going to understand it, and your mind is the same mind as me, which is the same mind as God, which your mind should be God's mind and my mind should be God's mind. We all need to be one. You'll understand that they have come and destroyed this place for people that have understanding the physical matter is nothing. This rat ship that we're living in is all physical. All the elites, all the kings and queens and princes and all these leaders of this world, they want this rat ship. They want it. They want the more. They want the physical matter. They want the physical riches. They want the physical dominion over physical carnal man. They want it. They need it. They strive for it. Okay, they're completely separated from the spirit. They're physically just physical, rotting flesh. And they're carnal. And they're susceptible to all sin because the body is sin. The carnal mind is sin. That's what Christ crucified on the cross, was his body. It's not your sin or my sin that we're doing. Dane, oh, he died for my sins, I'm good to go now. No, it's not that at all. Your body is sin. Okay, that's why John tells you in his epistles that you say you have no sin in you, you're a liar, and there's no truth in you. He's talking about your physical body. He's not talking about you continuing in sin and, yeah, I sin and, oh, I'm sinning. No, because he then goes on to tell you that those that are sinning are not renewed. Those, they don't know God. He says, do not be deceived. You cannot sin. Do not sin. Romans, once you have died to sin, you sin no longer. Okay, sin and death and disease is all carnal. It's all your flesh. It's all your body. And that's what Christ came. He came to have. That's why he says, a body you prepared for me. Jesus, the carnal man, said to God, the all-knowing, all-omnipotent, a body that you prepared for me. Do you understand what he's saying here? He is saying that the flesh body itself, working only in carnal ways, having its head down into the dirt, fulfilling all the five senses of the flesh, is death and sin. Christ let that body hang on the cross and let it to be destroyed, that body, because the mind that was in him overcome all things, which is the true life and the true spirit. I hope you can understand what that means. And that's why Paul fought so hard within his flesh in Romans 7. He was talking about his body, and he was giving you a clear indication of what he meant, that Jesus Christ overcame his physical body as a representation of being a leader to you, to show you to cast down your physical flesh body and live in the Spirit. He didn't do it for you. That's a Catholicism, religious, denominational Christianity. He did it as an example for you so that you may follow in his footsteps through him. You must cast down your physical carnal flesh every single day. Do not allow it to overtake your mind, which is supposed to be joined with God. And I'm going to show you today that fear is the absolute weapon that has destroyed every generation that has ever been here. And it all started from the beginning. And I'm going to show you how when fear entered in. Okay? They heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day, or in the spirit, or the ruach of the day. And the man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God among the trees of the garden. Then the Lord God called to the man and said unto him, Where art thou? He said, I heard the sound of you in the garden, and I was feared, or I was afraid, because I was naked, so I hid myself. The first word you're going to find in the Bible, for the first time it's used, is after the fall. Immediately after the fall, fear entered in. Fear is the control of the carnal man. You cast fear and destroy fear, you will heal the sick. Let me repeat that. You destroy fear in yourself and in others, you will heal the sick. That's the teaching of our Master. Adam and Eve, for the first time in their life, had fear because they realized that they were naked, or they realized that they were absolutely now in their physical matter, carnal state. And God couldn't see them, figuratively, because God is the one spirit, one mind. They realized that they were physically carnal now, that their bodies were a matter. And this began the whole beginning of the body and anatomy. You know, the heart, the lungs, the liver, oh, they can be sick, they can die. You know, I did a post about if you took your brain out of your head, is it still thinking? If I took your heart out of your chest and I put it on a table, is it going to continue to beat forever? No, it's all matter. It's all physical flesh. It's matter. It has no intelligence. It has nothing in it. There's no spirit dwelling in it. It's not alive. It's just physical matter that's flesh. It cannot be sick. It has no intelligence. You have to understand this. It's your mind that determines your health. It is your mind that determines your path in this life. And I'm going to show you today that the fear that has been created or has been allowed to come in, okay, the father of fear, which is the adversary, he controls everybody with fear, just like he did here. He was able to put fear in the carnal mind because carnal mind is run and destroyed and manipulated and brainwashed through fear. Adam and Eve just realized that they were physical matter because of the fall. Here we have this little child, okay? Now, I want you to really focus today. I want you to really listen today, please. Please listen, and please take this to your through your spirit to God and ask for gleaning. Please listen to me. I humbly ask you to please listen. Fear is the destruction of man. All of our lives, we have been completely and utterly destroyed with fear. Ever since a child being scared in the dark. For no reason at all, we didn't know why we were terrified. We had no reason why the darkness was making us feel so scared. Some of us had really bad childhoods. Some of us had good childhoods. Some of us were incredibly more worldly than others. But one thing is for sure, fear was a prominent staple in our lives. And fear controls. Fear makes the carnal mind destructive. I'm going to go through some simple things, and I want you to really understand and go through it yourself and think about your life and think about history that they've given us and realize that everything that is wrong with the carnal man is through fear. It's manipulated through fear. Ghost stories, haunted stories, before video, radio, ghost stories over the radio, okay? Newspaper articles from centuries ago talking about haunted houses, okay? Vampire folklore as early as the 1700s, okay? These are just things that I'm showing you that they have put upon man to make them in fear. And it's all for a very good reason, and I'm going to share that soon, right? Werewolves, right? As early as the 16th, 17th century, even as early as the 1100 medieval times, okay? All of this funny folklore, Halloween, all this stuff. It's not done as a joke. It's done to instill fear in the carnal mind. Ghosts, demons and devils, haunted houses, exorcisms, exorcists, scariness. Okay, you have to understand this is a weapon against you. This is a weapon against your carnal state. What happens is that a carnal man, okay, through fear, and I mean fear ramped up crazily in his life, affects the mind through subconsciously and unconsciously, okay? Through subconsciously, it influences by the part of the mind which is not fully aware. Unconsciously, without realizing or being aware of one's actions. Fear is able to manipulate and create triggers within your carnal mind to then start destroying your body out of fear. Fear of sickness, fear of health, fear of disease, fear of this, fear of that. And on top of all this, you're completely sin and you're completely living in error. It is an absolute self-destructive device, and they have used it for generations upon generations upon generations to control, to manipulate, and to destroy man. Fear enters into the subconscious and unconscious mind and conscious mind, and it literally creates involuntary actions within the body. You'll sit here and say, "Well, I wasn't scared to have, to get sick, or I wasn't scared of getting a cold, or I wasn't scared of getting sick." It doesn't matter. It happens unconsciously and subconsciously within your carnal mind that it creates the effects of the sickness. When people are scared, and I'm going to go through this, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're going to start using these things now, okay? We're going to start using this stuff, which we're very well aware of. This stuff. This stuff. Okay? These things. Okay? All of these. All of this stuff. I know you're probably thinking, what am I talking about? You can physically see it. Physical people have died. Yes, they have. Because they believe it. Their carnal mind believes it. The carnal mind then starts to understand that this is what's going on. And oh no, through the media, through the influence of the media, oh, this person died, that person's dead. Oh man, this one here, it's coming next. Oh wow, this is what happens. This is how they do it. 24/7 on all devices of the world, they play this stuff to create the unconscious and subconscious and conscious fear within the carnal man. And then unconsciously and subconsciously, the body starts to destroy out of fear. It starts to create the so-called make-believe symptoms that these things say that they are. This was the greatest hoax and greatest fear factor, I think, in our entire lifetime, in the last 150 years. They have used this. Think about what you just lived through. Think about how this was on every single device all day long, all over the world for 3 years. They know what they're doing. It's not that this thing creates anything or makes you sick. Remember, matter cannot get sick because there's no intelligence in it. It's what the mind says to the body in subconscious or unconsciously through fear that creates the symptoms. You know, there's a story in the early 1700s, you can look this up, where there was a convict that one of the universities in England was able to experiment on. This is back, in those days, right? And they had this convict, okay, and they convinced this convict that he was bleeding out. They poured a stream of warm water down his arm, and they convinced him that it was blood and he was losing a tremendous amount of blood. The guy died. The guy died. He was never cut. He never had an ounce of blood left. The carnal mind killed him. This is a fact. I know this is hard to grasp because we have been completely destroyed, and we have. Oh, I've seen them. I've seen I've seen the symptoms on the body. I felt them. I did this. You cannot feel nothing unless your mind is the one that is allowing you to feel. Physical matter is not intelligent. There's no life in it. It's your mind, and it's your carnal mind. You destroy all of this. You destroy all of the fear. You destroy it all. You destroy all of the diseases, so-called diseases, that the carnal mind believes. The hospital is filled with carnal-minded fear. The people in there are literally sick and dying and dead physically because they believe that they're sick. They believe that the doctor has told them that they have this wrong. They have heart disease. They have all these things. Yes, they do have those physical things because their carnal mind has allowed it to happen. But once you destroy the fear, once you convince the people that the body and the mind are two different things, the physical body is matter and it's nothing, and the mind is the one that is life, and it connects to the true source, God, the body will heal from the change of the mind. This is mind healing. This is legitimate healings. I know this is crazy. I get it. You're going to say, no, it's for those that want this understanding. You can move on and do what you like. I'm not sitting here forcing anything on anybody, but the absolute proof is in all things. And the proof is that this world that you live in and I've lived in and mommy lived in and daddy lived in and grandma lived in and great-grandma and all the way through has been controlled by fear and manipulation of man. They put fear in them over everything. And now in this age, it's this organ and it's that organ and it's this disease and it's that disease and it's this cancer and it's that cancer and be careful and, I don't want to get this disease and I don't want to get that disease. The absolute pandemic that you lived through was one of the greatest carnal mind experiments or carnal mind destructions in the history of life. Physical matter is nothing and it's not intelligent. It's the mind that runs the ship. And if you convince the mind that it's sick, the ship will go down. The ship will go down. Influenza. Isn't it interesting? Isn't it funny? Isn't it disgusting? Isn't it ironic that influenza comes from the word influence? Influence. It comes from the Latin influtia, which means influence. Influence what? Fear. Influenza, flu, influence. Influencing what? The carnal mind. Influencing it into fear. Psychological, physiological changes within the body. I have 100,000,000% experienced this in my personal life. I am a witness to this teaching that when someone is in fear, physical symptoms of whatever that fear will happen on your body and create a destructive body part, organ, function of anything within your body when it is healthy. They call it an anxiety attack. They call it a panic attack. They call it all these words that are just physical words. The reality is the carnal mind is in such a fearful state, it believes in the symptoms that are so-called killing him. Destroy this. Cast this down within yourself. Believe in this not. And heal the sick. Recover yourself. The mind lives forever. Your flesh body is nothing. It is controlled by the captain of your ship, and that's the mind. Who's influencing your mind? Who's influencing your mind? The world? Your YouTube? Your TikTok? Your Twitter? Your Facebook? Your Instagram? Your email? Your Netflix? Your newspapers? Your 6 o'clock news? Your carnal, worldly friends? Your family? Your shows? The constant commercials of sickness being played on the television? Who's influencing you in your carnal mind? I'm telling you right now, subconsciously and unconsciously, this is meta. They know what they're doing. I've seen once, and we've all seen it, I'm sure, where they had and I couldn't find it, I think they've scrubbed it, where they had every year that a new technology came out, there was this flu that hit. I know you guys all know this. It was each year that they released the radio, the television, the signals, the power lines, the wire, all this stuff, right? 2G, 3G, whatever it is now. To me, none of this stuff even matters. This is nothing. And they say that because of that, it was bad for your health. And I believed that at one time. I believe that technology was bad for your health because of what it did. But then God turned the light on. God had allowed me to understand mind and allowed me to understand physical matter. And then I realized that, yeah, that's true. That is absolutely true. That the sicknesses and those flus and those diseases and all those things hit during those years. But do you want to know why they hit? Because it was full-bore broadcasting of fear. They had the ability to go over the networks all over the world at each stage, through radio, through television, through wireless, through power lines, through all things, to get the word out. Fear this, the Spanish flu. Fear that. People dying, people dropping. Get your mask, get your shot. Oh no, heart disease. Oh no, cancer. It was broadcast through the powers of the air. And then it started to influence the carnal minds of men. And they started to believe in the so-called symptoms that the so-called flu or sickness or disease gave. And then, of course, because the mind is so powerful, even the carnal, now that starts to create the physical effects in the physical matter. The greatest weapon that was ever used against mankind is the control and fear of the carnal mind. I hope you understand this teaching. I hope you can grasp it. I hope we can all come together as one and truly become disciples of Jesus Christ, who the Christ himself cast out all fear. The Christ himself looked at the people in foolishness because he knew that they were physical matter and that their carnal mind only cared about their physical senses. He cast it out. He cast out the sin and sickness. You have to believe in sin and sickness for you to be a sinner and to be a sick person. I know you're not going to believe that. I can understand that. And I know it's hard for you to understand that. But when is the sinner going to give up his sin? When he still has pleasures in them. When he still believes he has the pleasures in them. When is he going to give them up? When is he going to give them up? When is the sick man or the diseased man going to stop believing that he's sick and he's diseased because he has been influenced by the so-called leaders and powers and doctors of the world to say, no, you're sick. You know, when you go to the doctor's office, which we haven't been in years, what do they check? What's the doctor's check? When you go to a family doctor, what's the number one thing that old doctor's been doing for 250 years? He checks your pulse. He checks your tongue with his little stick. And he does listening for your breathing within your physical body. What is he doing? He's checking matter. He's not asking you, how's your mind today? He's only looking at the physical matter of the body, trying to look for the cause instead of the effect. They don't ever do the effect. What's influencing your mind? What's affecting your mind to create who you are instead of looking at the physical matter cause? Heal the sick, raise the dead. Those that are my disciples, these signs shall follow them. It's not a dispensation period. It's for all time. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. For those who believe the works of me they'll do, and greater than these they shall do. Before I finish this video today, that will be hard for most, I was talking to Josh about this the other day, and I was saying, if you look at history in the Middle Ages, you know, they had these most horrific and incredible torture devices for people. You can look this up. They'll still allow you to see this stuff. And I mean, just absolutely horrific. The most insane, articulate designs of torture devices in the Middle Ages. And it got me thinking, well, I wonder why they would want to do such a thing. It's pretty awful. And then I started to understand, and God started to show me more and more, and I started to realize that, yeah, I can see what they were doing, and I could see that there was a time at this time. It doesn't matter if it was the millennium or what it was. It makes no difference to me. But these people that they were torturing had understanding of one spirit. They had understanding of who they were. They had understanding that their physical body had nothing, and it was nothing. There are history that you can see. There are stories where these people were tortured and they were laughing. They had their legs ripped off, their arms ripped out, and they were laughing at the people that were doing it. There was even another instance where the guy had his head cut off, and he was talking and laughing after his head was chopped off. Believe it or not, it makes no difference to me. This was recorded, and it makes total, absolute, complete truth to me now that I understand that these people knew exactly who they were, and they understood that physical matter means nothing, and that your carnal mind, has to allow it to feel pain, pleasure, or senses. And when they were in oneness with God and spoke the truth and were not in error, they could do whatever they wanted to their bodies, and they laughed because it made no difference to them. They knew where they were going, and they knew where they were from. Let that sink into you and understand that that's what I personally believe happened, and will happen again for those that are truly walking in the truth. When you have a true understanding of what this means, it's quite remarkable. And in fact, there's old Eastern religions and martial arts and all this stuff where they're able to teach their so-called students to feel no pain. These combat people, and they can go and basically fight to the death and have no pain. They have no feeling of it. Buddhists, or I don't know exactly which one it is, some type of a martial arts in East Asia or something. Look it up. They have no problem believing that. They have no problem being able to teach the fact that these soldiers or combat people feel nothing. They feel nothing. How's that possible? How's that possible? Right? How's that possible? Oh, it's possible. It's just the understanding of mind versus dead, sin-stricken body. The two must separate. Live for God in your mind, and your body will always be in sin, and it needs to be destroyed and returned to the corrupted earth. I want to read Hebrews 2, 5 through 15, and then 2 other scriptures, and then I'll be done. For not on the messengers has he subject the coming habitable earth, which we are speaking. But one somewhere hath borne witness, saying, What is man, that thou shouldest make a mention of him? Or the son of man, that thou shouldest put him in charge? Thou hast made him a little less than some of the messengers with glory and honor, lest thou hast crowned him, and hast set him over the works of thy hands, and all things hast thou subject beneath his feet. For in subjecting to him, or dominion to him, the all things, nothing left he to himself unsubjected. But now, not yet, do we see to him all things have been subjected. He's talking about man here. He's just not talking about Jesus the Christ. He's talking about you and I, okay? You had dominion over all things physical. Yet we have no understanding of that. But Jesus made some little less than the messengers. We do behold. He was the example. He was the leader. By reason of the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, to the end that the favor of God in behalf of everyone, he might taste of death, or experience the carnal mind. For it was becoming in him, for the sake of whom there are all things, by the means of whom there are all things, when many sons unto glory he would lead. The princely leader of their salvation. Leader, okay? He was the example to you for salvation. He ain't doing it for you. You must do it. You must overcome. You must cleave to truth and love and life and cast down error, sin, sickness, death, physical body through sufferings to make perfect. Of their salvation, through sufferings to make perfect. For both he that maketh holy and they who are being made holy, that's us, are all of one. For which cause he is not ashamed to be calling them brethren, saying, I declare thy name unto my brethren in the midst of the assembly. Will I sing praise unto thee? And again, I will be confident upon him. And again, lo, I and the children which unto me God hath given me. Those that are following in his example are sons of God and are co-heirs of the Spirit. Seeing therefore the children have received a fellowship of blood and flesh, he also in the like manner took partnership in the same. In order that through death, through carnal mind, he might paralyze him that held the dominion of death, dominion of carnal mind, that is, the adversary. God has prepared a body for me, he said. The body of sin. The one he destroyed on the cross. Not him, not the Christ, but the Jesus carnal man flesh. That he might paralyze him, okay? He has no dominion over you anymore when you understand that error and truth are opposite. When you understand that fear is nothing. You cast fear out, you destroy him. You cast it out, you destroy it, you cast this entity, this whole spiritual understanding, this whole power of the air, you cast this out, you destroy fear, you walk in truth, you heal the sick, you heal yourself, you raise the dead, and you cast out demons, unclean spirits. Because he has the dominion over the carnal mind. He created or allowed this afraid fear to enter in as he then got the domain of the carnal mind through the fall. And might release these as many as, okay, pay attention here. This is this whole teaching. That Christ may release these as many by fear of death, fear of sin, fear of sickness, fear of disease, fear of carnal mind. That's what death is. It's all of those things. Were all their lifetime liable, or all their lifetime they have lived in it. It says it better here in this other translation, which I want you to read, which I don't usually read the King James anymore, but they do have this one pretty good. He says right here in a better translation, and deliver them who through fear of all those things I just said were all their lifetime subject to slavery, subject to bondage, subject to all things fearful, subject to all carnal mind, subject to all carnal death, subject to all sin, sickness, and disease. He released them who were through fear were all their lifetime subjected to it. He releases those. He releases you. He gives you the truth. He gives you the truth that physical matter is nothing. Physical matter has no intelligence. The carnal mind makes up the belief of either health or sickness. Either I'm completely possessed, or I overcome and become one mind. 2 Corinthians 13:11. Finally, brethren, farewell. Be perfect, or be complete. Be ye perfect as my Father is perfect. Be ye complete as my Father is complete. Complete is the understanding of truth and understanding of one mind, one spirit. Be of good comfort. Be of one mind. Live in peace, and the God of love or truth and peace shall be with you. That's everything. You can do to the body what you wish. All the martyrs had their bodies destroyed as they laughed and understood that their mind was everything and they couldn't destroy it. They couldn't kill something that was eternal and spiritual. The adversary who has dominion over this carnal world desires all things physical. And when you're subject to him, and you're subject to the fear and the propaganda, you'll be subject to any disease or anything they're pushing, because your carnal mind is brainwashed. 1 John 4:18 as I finish. This should sum up everything. There is what? No fear in love and truth, but complete love or truth casteth out all fear. Love or truth casteth out, throws out, strikes down, lays down, sends down, pours out, puts out fear. Because fear hath torment, destruction, sin, disease, death. He that feareth is not made complete in love or truth. May you cast out fear and destroy it within yourselves and with those that you partake in, that we may all be part of the one mind and be true followers, true disciples of Jesus the Christ, and do the works that he has done.